Call in, guys. Talk to me nice.
Welcome back to Sports Tea. Welcome back to Sports Tea.
Talk to me nice. Nice. Call in, guys. Talk to me nice. Call in, guys. Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. Hey everyone, welcome back to Sports Tea. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful evening. Happy Thursday. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I am feeling it. The Knicks versus the Lakers tonight. Oh my gosh. Overtime. The Knicks, they're just not beating the top seeded teams. I don't know what to say. But salute to everyone that's joining the stream tonight. I really appreciate you all being here. As you load into the room, please do me a favor and like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Tonight, we are going to talk about LeBron James and his milestone of yet another record-breaking accomplishment. So LeBron James has now eclipsed his own record, and he has 50,000 points. So that is just incredible. When you hear that number, it's an amazing number. Oh, there's static? I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. How am I doing sound-wise? Can everyone hear me? Still some feedback? Still some more feedback? Give me a 1 if I sound clear to you. Okay. Give me 1 second. Hey guys, can you hear me okay? I know this is just my my laptop speaker for right now. I don't know what happened, but I have this brand new sound system and it's just not working very well. So, um yeah, we're supposed to talk about LeBron James and his 50,000 points, and we're supposed to talk about Anthony Edwards and being the face of the league. And, you know, I had some sound bites for you guys and a really, really good show for tonight. But this damn Roadcaster, it is brand new. Can you guys believe that I had an old Roadcaster that worked perfectly fine? And I have a brand new one that doesn't work. Isn't that interesting? Sometimes that's just how things happen. But anyhow, I guess we're going to have to just kind of freestyle a little bit. I don't want to waste everybody's time that showed up for the live tonight. So let's just chat through it. I mean, LeBron James scored 50,000 points, and, you know, Stephen A. Smith came out and he congratulated him, you know, and he still said, hey, you're still not the GOAT, but, you know, I want to congratulate you for having the longevity. Okay. And, you know, Mace, he came out and said some really, really funny things. I'm going to try to play it from my phone for you guys to see if like you can hear it. Let me know how it comes through. I'm really sorry that I don't have my headphones on and my mic and all that cool stuff. But yeah, we'll try to see if this works a little bit better for us. And I know it's a little ghetto, but I just, for the folks who are here, I want to just talk through this because it's a really good topic. And, you know, I think it's fun. So anyhow, here is what let's see. So here's what Stephen A. had to say initially about LeBron and scoring the 50,000 points. He pretty much says, like, you know, he's the GOAT of longevity. You know, I'm actually not going to play that soundbite for you guys because it's pretty much self-explanatory. Stephen A. is stating, hey, Michael Jordan's still the GOAT. Like, you can get 50,000 points, you get 70,000 points, doesn't really matter. We're still going to call MJ the GOAT, but you are the GOAT in, you know, being the player who has stayed healthy, who is having this long career and racking up all of these stats and points. So, you know, you are the GOAT of longevity. That's what Stephen A. is letting LeBron know. So again, guys, we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to the sound where, let's see. I'm going to give you guys the next sound bite, which was Mace. And he's chatting with Stat Baby and Trista Crick. And they're having a really interesting discussion about why LeBron James is or is not the GOAT. And Stat Baby, she kind of gets into it. So let me find this for you guys. I'm going to put you on mute just for 1 second so you're not like hearing, you know, the parts that you don't need to hear. But 1 second.
Points in the regular season and playoffs.
50,000? That's a lot of points. I must admit, as a Jordan fan, that is a lot of points.
Hey, now he just added to the list.
He's added to the list.
Yeah, this is in the Lakers 136-115 win versus the Pelicans. Trista, we already know LeBron is in a higher tier that kind of just keeps moving up. Is this enough to make him the overall GOAT? How are we feeling? One, about his achievement, and then two, your thoughts overall on LeBron and then the caliber that he's playing at the age he's at.
Yeah, it's crazy that he's third in MVP voting right now at this age, at 21 years into the league. That's ridiculous. And now he has Luka, who's going to take a lot of pressure off of his shoulders, and I think that's going to invigorate him some and probably extend his career. But I don't think anybody who has seen this consistently from LeBron didn't think that this was going to happen. But I don't think anyone's ever going to come anywhere near this number again, right? Like, Giannis just scored 20,000, his 20,000 point the day after LeBron scored 50,000. And Giannis has been playing basketball for 12 years. So if he plays another 12 years at this pace, he'll play 24 years in the league and still have 10,000 less points than LeBron. So you see that number and you just go, wow, the longevity. I don't know if longevity at this height can be added to the GOAT discussion. I don't know. Like, it feels like we're inching closer and closer and closer. Like, I feel as somebody who grew up in the early 90s, I can't let anyone take Jordan off that pinnacle, off that peak for me. But maybe that's just me being stubborn as an 80s baby.
No, I'm not going to let you do that. I'm not going to even let you lay the groundwork for that. No. LeBron is great at the longevities he's having. Let's just put apples where apples go, and let's put oranges where oranges go. It wouldn't matter if he gets 70,000 points, right? We're not weighing them against points. We're weighing them against the dominance. If I play much longer, I'm going to get much more points. We're not going by points. If we were going by points, then that means Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would have been the GOAT until LeBron passed him. That's not what we're equating this to. I think people keep missing the argument because they keep trying to slide in new information. New information doesn't change what it is that we're basing this upon. It could change the numbers, it could change the status of yourself, but it doesn't change. We're talking about the chips. We're talking about the dominance. We're talking about when it's asked for, you deliver. It doesn't matter if you get 60,000 points. If at the end of this, you go out the second round. You understanding what I'm saying? Because a girl got a better BBL doesn't make her like, come on now. Yeah, you're 50 years old and can still wear Daisy Dukes. That don't make you the finest girl ever lived. That just means you look good for your age. Looking good for your age doesn't make you the GOAT. And that's what people are doing. They're talking about you looking good for your age. And if you look good for your age, that means you've been looking good for a long time. That still don't make you the baddest ever. Is that correct as a woman? Does that make you the baddest ever?
Ever subjective. For that time.
It make you bad for that time. Exactly. But it doesn't make you the baddest ever because you was able to keep a physique at 60 years old. Your legs still look good in high heels or whatever it is. And I'm not comparing LeBron. I'm trying to make this an understandable point for ladies. Because if you see a lady that looks good at 53, it doesn't mean she looks better than Vanessa Williams, right?
So when you say that, and I want Tristan to finish her point.
Do you understand that point? Y'all don't have to agree with me. Do you understand?
I understand. I understand. So I understand your point, and I didn't want to go off on a tangent. And I'm going to make this point really, really quick because also to that point,
I hate lies. I hate lies. I really do. I hate lies.
You can say what you want, but to even like compare, like, okay, best for longevity, baddest for that time, and then for women, I think of like Kim Kardashian, right? She's looked good for the longevity of her career, which also in comparison, I'm not saying like Kim Kardashian is the looks of like LeBron in basketball, but like kind of, because that's the same kind of concept.
Okay. So I'm glad you said that, because the way Kim Kardashian came about her success, for me, I don't value that. Because of the way she came about it. To other people that have different morals and different principles, they may look at that and like, so what? She's a billionaire. I don't count money that you get the wrong way. I don't count that. You know what I'm saying? There's some people like, oh, I won 100 games. But you won 100 games on steroids. I feel the same way about rap. If it comes out that these rappers did these things to be at that level, and I'm like, no, bro, I was doing that without doing that. Yeah. So I don't hold a success on the same level. At that point, even if you were looked at as the GOAT, we're taking that GOAT status down because you got there the wrong way. You didn't get there honestly. You got there, now all this stuff comes out. You got there these ways? Nah, I don't respect that. You're nobody. You're actually lower than the people who we thought was under us.
That's a really good point, and I kind of want to get your perspective on LeBron more then. So in that analogy, do you think that there's something besides the amount of rings that is bringing LeBron down in terms of the dominance? Like, do you think
let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. It's not just the rings are one. Of course, it's the championships, and there's people who won more championships than Jordan. So it's not just the rings, but it's showing up when it counts. Isn't that what makes you great? That you show up when it counts. That's why people love God, because he comes through. He's faithful. He's faithful. Is no excuse for not delivering. That's what I'm more so talking about. It's not the 50,000 points. I said it myself. If LeBron wins a championship with his son, then I can start having that conversation. Until then, I can't have that conversation until you come through, pause, when we really need you to, without excuse. Him joining other people to get those rings, that definitely plays into his legacy. That would be no different than if you find out that I was buying all my cells. That plays into how we look at you, right? We can't throw that away. We can't highlight the things that you do good and turn a blind eye on the things that weren't correct. Is that correct? Or we just, because that's what I'm talking about. You joining teams, you're moving stuff around so you can, it's like me going in a park and there's 2 7-footers and all the other kids are 5'10". And I picked the 2 7-footers and I'm playing against all of the kids 5'10", but you want me to believe that you did something? No, you were playing with, you stacked your team. You stacked your team.
And then the question that I have though about the longevity, the female analogy, the women analogy, do you think if you're the baddest girl in your senior year in high school through like sophomore year in college, and then you fall off, like rim check Jordan Wizards, and you have a short but high peak, but then you have somebody who's like maybe slightly not as hot, but is hot like Halle Berry into her 50s. You don't weigh those things at all. It's just like whatever your peak is, even though you might have fallen off of a cliff in your early 20s.
No, I do see that point, but Jordan didn't have that. That's why I'm trying to say that. That will be very much true. I'm a realist, I'm going to weigh both sides. Like if LeBron comes and he gets, let's say 5 championships and he didn't run to Miami to get it, he would definitely be in that. He would definitely be right there with Jordan, right there where you can even say, okay, some people could put him over him. And I wouldn't be mad at that. But the things that certain players have done to get their rings, that's different. That's different for my mindset. And I'm not the end all say all to anything, but I'm just here to voice that opinion. Because when you do certain things like that, I can't deem it as the same. Are you a great basketball player? Yes. Do you have the most points? Yes. Have you been the best for the longest? Yes. But that don't make you the best.
That's that. But Trista, so I just need a little final.
Because when we needed you to be the best, you walked off. When we needed you to be the best, you blamed other people. So we got to keep all of that on the same scale. The guy I'm talking about, when his dad died, he delivered. When he had the flu, he delivered. He never gave us an excuse for not delivering. That's why we still wear Jordans instead of LeBrons. That's why we wear them.
That's fair. Do you put Steph Curry then over LeBron? Because Steph didn't ever leave a team, even though he got.
I actually. Yes, I'm glad you put. Now you're getting my mindset. I actually hold Kobe over LeBron. To me, Because with everything people saying, Kobe got his 5 championships with the team he was with. When they went down, he went down with his team. When they came up, he came up with his team. He never felt like he had to go to play with Ray Allen to win. He put the team on his shoulders. When people said, well, you only got those because Shaq was with you. He got them without Shaq, without moving. Same location. Same location. Y'all come play with me. Can't say you're the king if you following other people to play. Not where I come from. You can't do that. And I know today we have better media and we have better access to the media. We didn't have internet and stuff like that. So you can paint narratives. But even when people act a certain way, when they get around real men, we know who's who. We know who's who. You can lie to other people. You can't lie to people like me. And that's probably why people don't like my takes. Because you can't lie to me. You can lie to other people that's infatuated with things you've done. But I can see through it. Great basketball player. Number 3 still to me. Number 3. That's high though.
And then Steph or Magic or who?
Well, we don't have to keep playing. I mean, honestly, you guys get the point. I think that Mace had a variety of analogies that really just sort of ethered the LeBron James GOAT discussion, especially when you talk about longevity, and that's what LeBron fans want to use to say that he's the GOAT. It's okay to say that LeBron is your favorite player for whatever the reason is. I just think that when we start putting down other players in order to elevate LeBron and saying that it's because of longevity, that's when we start to split hairs, right? So obviously all players have the same eligibility for the same awards. And for some reason, when we talk about LeBron James, we have to talk about other things that really have nothing to do with, you know, what players are judged by, how they, you know, are rewarded, how they are awarded. And so, you know, when we just take a look at LeBron James's resume, it's not a top 10 resume in NBA history. We have to say that LeBron James he played the longest. That's not an actual like NBA thing. Playing the longest, that's not an award. You don't get an award in the NBA for playing the longest. That's not a thing. And the reason why I think people like Stephen A. Smith, the reason why many people talk about Michael Jordan's accomplishments, it's because these are things that are more tangible. They're things that tie back to the sport. They're things that actually tie back to your performance on the court. So, you know, when we have to say that, oh, well, there's more talent in the league, we're placing all these circumstances into things to make an argument for this or for that, when really, when you just line up the resumes, they're not close. They're not. LeBron's resume is probably not close to many players that have played historically. But we constantly talk about LeBron and Michael Jordan being, you know, in this GOAT discussion. And I think that it's a ridiculous discussion to have. I'm okay with someone saying, hey, LeBron James is the face of this generation. He was the best player to, you know, that ever lived in this era of basketball. I'm okay with that. I think that we have to stop trying to, you know, compare all of the eras because they're so different, and what players face, who they were up against, the competition, all of those things are different. And we can't sit there and say that, oh, you know, Wilt Chamberlain didn't do this, but LeBron did that in this time. Like we really, a lot of people don't know, right? They don't know what happened back then. They don't know what the competition was, but we like to sort of speculate and make things up because we want to elevate a particular player. And look, growing up in my household, Michael Jordan wasn't very liked because he kept beating our team. So, you know, the Knicks kept losing to the Bulls, and that wasn't really fun for me in my house and for my dad, right? But it was definitely just, I think, basketball, sport, competition. That was a really fun time in the 90s. And people refer to it because it was one of the greatest moments, I think, in sports history. And a lot of things were good in the 90s. We even take a look at music. Music was really great in the 90s. People take a look at, hip hop in particular. And, we just remember how great it was in the 90s. So, I don't think that people just want to like live in this place of nostalgia. They want to live in the place where things were great. We want like true talent to shine no matter what the industry is. And I'm not saying that LeBron James is not talented. I think the 50,000 points is an incredible achievement, and I think it is something to congratulate, to celebrate. It certainly is. I just think that we have people saying the debate is over. LeBron James is the GOAT. And why was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar never considered the GOAT? For being the all-time scoring leader. That's what I'm wondering. And, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was considered the GOAT for other reasons. People found him to be better than Wilt Chamberlain. And the debate used to be between those two, Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But I've just never heard of so-and-so playing the longest, so that's what makes them the GOAT. And I think that when it comes to LeBron, people will try to say that, oh, it's Jordan fans and it's the media moving the goalposts for LeBron, hating on him. But LeBron is basically saying, hey, these standards are not important. I'm going to change what has historically been, what players use as a benchmark. And so we're changing the benchmarks. And how can you say you're the greatest of all time when you're changing the benchmark for yourself in your own era? That doesn't make sense. You have to keep the benchmark the same if you're going to say all time of anything. So if LeBron James is the greatest player of all time, then all of the criteria for being the greatest of all time has to apply to everybody. And the circumstances, in my opinion, have to apply. That's why I don't like the GOAT discussion at all, whether it's in favor of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, whoever we're talking about. I just think that it's a ridiculous conversation because no era has the same circumstances. No era has the same talent. No era has the same resources. So things are a lot different in every single era of basketball. And I just think that that's where it gets really tough to say, oh, this person is the greatest of all time when we're talking about a team sport. It's just not, I don't think it's appropriate. I think it's really disrespectful as well to everybody that plays on that player's team. Look at what's happening right now with Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. I don't believe they ever had like this horrible beef. I just think it got bad because of the way that the sport is being talked about now, the way that, fans are making it seem like Scottie Pippen might have been some bum and Michael Jordan just always magically, won the game for the Chicago Bulls. And it might have looked like that some games, right? But you still need a team to win, and all 5 players on the court need to play their position. So, I think that there's a whole lot to be said for, scoring 50,000 points. There's a whole lot to be said for that. And I think that LeBron James has been in this league since he's 18 years old, and he came out swinging. He came out being LeBron James, being one of the most talked about players, being the quote unquote chosen one, being the guy that, wanted to be compared to Michael Jordan straight out of the gate. He wanted that. And so I think that when we talk about, comparisons, I do believe that they can be the thief of joy. Comparisons is where we tend to then not appreciate what's in front of us because we are focused on, okay, well, LeBron James is not better than Michael Jordan. And we can't just sit there and congratulate him for what he's currently doing because we're constantly comparing. And I think that, there's ownership on so many different sides. There's blame to go around for the quote unquote hate that's happening in today's league. You have LeBron James coming into the league wearing Michael Jordan's number 23. He came in wearing that number. And so when you do that, you're putting a target on your back. So the target's on your back for the comparisons already. And so if you don't want something like that, then maybe, you want to think about saying, hey, I want to be considered the greatest of all time. Hey, I want to be in those conversations with Michael Jordan and the other all-time greats. So you're going to be compared against them, and people are going to be looking for you to chip away at those milestones to, to chase their greatness. And it's I think that Mace made a lot of really great points, because, we should be willing to celebrate LeBron James and his 50,000 points, but it's tough when, people want to then crown him as the greatest of all time. Yes, you've been playing the longest, but just because you've been playing the longest and you've been the healthiest doesn't mean that you have been the best player in your whole career. And I actually, Rob Parker and that guy Kelvin on his show, they were chatting on The Odd Couple about, whether or not LeBron James playing longer hurts his legacy. And I don't think it's like the worst thing in the world that he's playing until the wheels fall off. But I do think that all it does is add more seasons and more potential losses. So if you're not playing to win titles, then, what are you playing in the NBA for? It feels like, okay, you're playing to continue to have the narratives be about you, to steer the media, to, pad this GOAT case. I think that your time at work should be purposeful. It should be productive. And LeBron James is flat out balling this season. I think that he's playing, some really good basketball as a number 2 option on the Lakers for Luka Doncic. And it really feels as though, okay, the pressure has been removed from him as the first option. And now he can just relax and let someone else take all of this pressure away from him. So the Lakers, it seems like they're on their way to potentially the finals. The NBA it looks like they want them there, and that's going to be the story of this season and this postseason. But yeah, 50,000 points to LeBron James. That's an incredible feat. For me, he is still not the GOAT. I don't have him. I probably don't have LeBron James as maybe like a top 20 player in all of NBA history. Before I would have said, definitely not in my top 10, but now it's getting like, for me, he continues to play the sport. He continues to have some really nefarious dealings, in my opinion, that don't add up. And I would like to see LeBron James retire and pass the league down to the younger generation. So I think part of why this league is so negative, part of why people are complaining about the sport, is because these old heads, the LeBron James, the Kevin Durants, they are still here in the league, sucking up, the air in the media. And I think I'm ready to turn the tide. I'm ready to have a younger generation take over this league and see what they do with it. See how they handle it. I'm not saying they're going to handle it so much better, but I'm just tired of seeing LeBron James. I'm tired of hearing about Steph Curry. I'm tired of hearing about Kevin Durant. And those two players still probably have a few more years left to play, Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. But I'm just over the constant news cycle. I am over the drama with these 3 players in particular. They all need help. They all need to pad their legacy. They all need to create narratives. And, I like Steph Curry. I think he's a little bit more likable than both LeBron James and Kevin Durant. But golly, like, I am just, are the Warriors going to contend this season? They might have a chance with Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler as a combination. It could be lethal in the postseason. But again, I am just still tired of talking about LeBron James. And look, I think that I would be happier to talk about him upon his retirement. I think that we're going to have people that are being compared to LeBron potentially. And I'm going to sit there and say, well, no, this person shows up to the NBA with a dad bod. I don't think that they're better than LeBron James. For Luka to be considered better than LeBron James at this young age of 25, I think is crazy. LeBron James at 40 is better than Luka Doncic at 25. And it's because he takes care of himself. He's more athletic, and he has taken care of his body. And we can say it's because of enhancements. We can say all kinds of things about that. But I am, quite frankly, I'm over the LeBron James era. I'm so over it. I'm over the media, and it's never going to go away. So LeBron James is going to be controlling the media until, you know, from now until the end of his time on earth. I really do believe that. But I think I want to hear from you guys. Obviously, tonight I'm not going to take any phone calls just because my roadcaster is bugging out. So hopefully I'll be getting a free one soon. But yeah, I want to know, like, what do you guys think about this 50,000 points that LeBron has scored? He is still the all-time leading scorer. He's likely going to remain the all-time leading scorer in all of our lifetime. And it seems just really, really just seems totally crazy that you know, we're at 50,000 points. I don't know that we're ever going to see it again. But what do you guys think? Do you think that this somehow makes LeBron James the GOAT? Do you think that it pads his GOAT case? Salute to you, T-Bert. So nice to see you, buddy. Yeah, I mean, I can't put LeBron top 10. It doesn't make sense for me to do that. I just can't do it. He stacked the deck. And May said it perfectly. You can have certain accolades, right? But I don't like how you got them. So I might not value your awards the same way that I'm going to value someone else that worked harder or had, you know, a path of greater integrity. And I'm not saying that LeBron James is a bad person. What I'm saying is that he orchestrated many titles and all of his teams. He's manufactured success for his child now. He has manufactured success for himself pretty much his entire career. So I think it's hard for people to wrap their minds around LeBron James being the GOAT. And there is a whole lot of, you know, negativity surrounding LeBron James. And, you know, when we discuss the next topic, Anthony Edwards, you're going to see, you know, why I'm saying some of the things that I'm saying. But is the league ready to end these guys' script, though? Is the league ready to turn the page on them? I think that it's twofold. I think that the league is in collusion with them. And I think that there is, you know, a major antitrust violation happening in the NBA that allows for the players to sort of dictate and hold the ownership in the league hostage, essentially. Because of this potential antitrust violation, players now have leverage and the ability to dictate what they want. So I think that the league is ready to turn the page on them. They want foreign players to be the face of the league, and they don't want one player to be the face. They want a collection of players. They want the NBA to be an international league. And so right now they are pushing and marketing European players. That's what's happening. They are phasing American players out. Anthony Edwards is, you know, he's being sort of like touted as this bad man in the league. You have John Morant, also another bad guy, right? He's toting guns. You have Anthony Edwards cursing, making derogatory, you know, words. He's getting technicals falling off his left and right and ejected from games. So, you know, I think the NBA is doing a good job of sort of giving us the tunnel vision to appreciate these European players and their skill sets. The foreign players have some incredible skill. Luka Doncic, what I enjoy about his game is I enjoy watching him pass the ball. I think he's a better passer than LeBron and some other guys that I've seen, actually. So I really, really enjoy his ability to pass. I enjoy that about Jokic as well. He has the court vision that everyone says that LeBron has. I like Jokic in ways, but he is also another non-athletic big that is shooting threes and has just like a weird game that I don't agree with overall. So yes, Jokic is doing all of these things, and he's, you know, getting triple doubles. He's impacting his team. He led his team to a title already. But I don't think that it's professional or appropriate to show up to the NBA with a dad bod. We need to see these players. I personally, I want to see a mix and a combination of, you know, the greatest athletes with the best skills that I've ever seen. And that, for me, that combination of players, they're not really there in the NBA currently. They don't have NBA bodies anymore. It's funny because Dalton Connect from the Lakers, I feel like his physique is an NBA body. There's some guys that were like built and born to play in the NBA, and they train that way, they practice that way. And, you know, I appreciate them because I'm like, okay, well, this is a guy that's going to give me, you know, they're going to fly in the air and dunk the ball for me. They're going to do a step back three. They're going to just do all of the things that I'm looking for and seeing in some of the best kind of basketball that I think should be on display. I actually don't think that Giannis checks everything on my list. He does not have any low post footwork at all, and he refuses to work on it. And I do think that he works really hard. He has a strong work ethic, Giannis, so I like him, but he definitely does not check everything on my list. I think he's one of the lowest skilled players in the NBA currently. And out of the foreign players, what I enjoy about Giannis is his aggression on the floor. I enjoy that Giannis offers a lot because he works hard. So yeah, he airballs from free throw, he airballs from three. And, you know, his shooting has gotten worse this season, but Giannis, I appreciate his work ethic. More than anything else, he works so hard. More than anything else, Giannis, he wants to get better. He does really want to get better. He gives max effort on the court. I don't see Giannis quitting on his team. I don't see him walking off the floor before the game is over. I really do believe he's a leader. I felt it when he said, if you don't want to compete, then get out of here. You don't want to compete, then leave this team. So I like Giannis for those things. I like Giannis because he wants to stay with the team that drafted him. He wants to continue trying to make it work there and win titles there. So I like Giannis, but as far as his game is concerned, in this sport of basketball, I find him to be low skilled. He bum rushes the lane, similar to LeBron. Not only does he bum rush the lane, but he's taking 9 to 10 steps into the paint with his happy feet, just traveling, bum rushing, offensive fouling into the lane, carrying the ball over his head, and all of these things he's allowed to do and to get away with. I think somebody asked a good question. They asked me if I watch the Euro League. Who said that? Someone did. Someone might have asked if I watch FIBA. What I can tell you is that I do, and I enjoy it because there's coaching on display. You get an opportunity to see the coaching decisions that are made. You also have just an opportunity to see more skill, better offenses ran, and offensive and defensive schemes being run. And I appreciate FIBA sports. I just sometimes, and so like SGA, for example, I don't think he looks as good in FIBA as he does in the NBA. That to me is an issue. That's why I don't believe in OKC for winning the title. I didn't believe in them last year, and they proved me correct. And I still don't believe in them this year. They're a young team. They haven't proven themselves anywhere yet. They proved that they can make it to the finals in what was that, 2012? Whoop-de-doo. But they have not proven that they can do it since then, and it's been more than 10 years. So, you know, I'd love to see OKC come out of the West, but I'm just not confident that they will. But no, Giannis does not check everything on my list. Absolutely not. Thank you, guys. And for everybody who's here, if you can do me a favor and like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I think that, yeah, so I don't think that the NBA wants a face of the league. The NBA just wants to be the NBA. And I think that they just want to have a collection of really great players that they can, plug in and out, that they can market the league off of. So they haven't found, there hasn't been a Michael Jordan. There just hasn't been. There hasn't been a player since Michael Jordan that they've been able to market the league off of. So if you can't market the league off of one player, what do you have to do? You have to use the collection that you have to market the league. And that's what they're doing. They're using LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Giannis, the European players. I call Giannis, Luka, Jokic, Embiid. I call these guys, there's the NBA and then there's the FNBA. The FNBA has a different set of rules, okay? And the NBA, these players, like essentially Adam Silver he's merging the two. He's just trying to figure out how he can market this league, but he doesn't have one person that is a cash cow for him. It was never LeBron James. Ratings have declined. Yet you still need LeBron James to get the measly ratings that you are getting out of the NBA. So it is pathetic right now. I think the state of, the NBA and what they have to do in order to make it, in order to make this league even look like it's almost exciting to watch, they have to market a collection of players. So they're marketing foreign NBA players, they're marketing American-born NBA players, and that's what they believe is working, even though there's been nothing but downward trends. So I think that, and I'll say this again, talent is what wins. Talent wins any day. I mean, African American people have been singing, dancing, and some of the best entertainers that we've seen. And talent is what's going to win. It's not about being foreign. It's not about being black. It's not about being white. It's not about being any of that. It's just about being good. And so when you're good, people are going to buy. When the NBA is a good product, no matter who's in it, people are going to go and watch. And that's really just the bottom line. Absolutely. There are a ton of young players I like that never get media coverage. I couldn't agree with you more. Paolo Banchero, I've said this multiple times. Even Donovan Mitchell, I don't think that he's talked about enough. Victor Wembanyama, they try to market him. They do. They try to, create a lot of buzz around him, but it just hasn't, it's not hitting quite like it is with other players, right? And I do think that the NBA needs, not another polarizing player like LeBron, but they need someone that people want to follow, listen to, figure out what's going on in their life. They need someone like that. But there's still, there hasn't been a player like Michael Jordan that's really been able to influence fans. And he hasn't played in a very long time. What's it been? It's been 20 plus years since, we've had a Michael Jordan sighting in the league. The NBA killed the Wolves when Ant-Man was beat. Jokic in Denver, and Denver was cheering for Ant-Man. The NBA couldn't have that. I agree. Okay, guys, I think that we should jump to the next topic. Spurs, and I think that Wemby, I wonder how it's gonna go. I wonder if he's the next face of the league. I'm gonna wait for it. Okay. I would love to see what he's going to do. Dom, do you watch EuroLeague? If you watch it, then compare it with the NBA. Okay. I mean, I think that I told you, I think that the European players play, I think that what they do is they play a more structured brand of basketball, and the NBA they're cheating. The refs are cheating. Everybody's cheating. So that's the long and the short of it. Salute to you, right hand cam. Good morning. $50K was something made up by the league who will do anything to goat him. I have no respect for him as a basketball player. Shout out to Young Disciple. LeBron is dominating right now. I have to agree. He is dominating right now, and he's playing very well. I think when he's in and out of the power forward role, someone said it best today. I can't remember who said it, but they said, LeBron is going to have to guard power forwards. That's what's going to happen. So LeBron's going to have to guard power forwards, and it's not about who can guard him, but it's about who can he guard. And so I think that we're going to see in the postseason just what LeBron James and the Lakers are really made of. Tonight, they didn't look good against the Knicks. And, I think that they really almost lost that game. I get that they were down some players, but when you have LeBron James and Luka Doncic on a team, you should be able to win that game handedly with the players that they had on the floor. But LeBron James is balling. He's dominating. I think oftentimes he's saving Luka from embarrassment because it was LeBron James' heroics that allowed Luka to beat his former team, the Mavericks. It allowed Luka to get his revenge. That was his revenge game. And LeBron James stepped up, supported him, and was damn near heroic in the fourth quarter. Played like shit pretty much most of the earlier quarters, but fourth quarter he stepped up big time, and it was really great to see. So Young Disciple, you're right. LeBron is dominating right now. How long do you think that he's going to be a sidekick to Luka Doncic, and how long do you think he's going to be able to tolerate him, Luka, being given all of the glory for any success that the Lakers have? When LeBron James retires, I'm having a good riddance party. Salute to you, Tony. Hilarious. LaMelo is another one that travels a lot when taking shots and too much over dribbling. Absolutely. I don't really love his game. He dribbles way too much, and it's annoying to me. I think that those are moments that he could use on, getting the ball into his teammate's hand and just moving the ball more. I don't like the dribbling. I agree. LeBron is airballed 56 feet, most ever. I hate LeBron, but I got to agree with you, Young Disciple. He's playing well. I think the chat can agree that LeBron is playing well since Luka has been playing with the Lakers. Luka Doncic hasn't been playing that well, but LeBron James has been. He has proven that, he can go into being a second option, or at least just acquiescing and, knowing his role in a team. So I'm pleased to see what the Lakers have been doing. Do I think that they're a serious contender? No. I still don't believe in them contending, like seriously. I think that if they wind up in the finals, I think that they are going to have a lot of help. They're still getting like major free throw disparities, against teams. They are, at home, they live at the free throw line. In the fourth quarter against the Knicks, that's what really killed the Knicks, sending the Lakers to the line. Do I think the Celtics can repeat? I want to believe that they can repeat. It's just we haven't seen anybody repeat since the Warriors. So that's the problem that I have with, the Celtics repeating, is that teams are proving that they can't repeat. And I would like to see the Celtics repeat because, it would make them, it widens the gap of them being the most winningest franchise in NBA history. I think it also, it solidifies Jason Tatum's case that he's one of the most underappreciated players in the NBA. So we're going to be able to see, and we're going to take a look at Jaylen Brown's game. We're going to take a look at Jason Tatum's game again if they make it to the finals to see, okay, like who really deserves this finals MVP, who's stepping up to do what. If it's Jaylen Brown again, that's a big issue, right? So, and I thought that Jaylen Brown deserved Western Conference MVP as well as finals MVP, not Jason Tatum. So, again, I'm really curious to see what the Celtics are going to do. Are they going to repeat? You know, who's going to make it healthy through the postseason? I think that the Celtics have been shooting a bunch of threes this season because they want to preserve themselves in order to win another title. So I'm hoping that that is the case, and I do hope they repeat. I think that's good for the sport. I think that's good for Tatum and Brown and just that team in general, because I know that the Celtics are trying to sell their team. That organization is trying to sell, I believe. And, you know, if they win another title, that makes them more valuable as a team. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do. I don't understand how LBJ got 10,000 points in 1 year. Wasn't it only a year ago that he got 40,000 points? Actually, I think he got 40,000 2 seasons ago. No. 2 seasons ago, he broke the scoring record, and I think that was like 32. I think he got 40 in the middle of, yeah, that's really weird. I'm sure that we'll figure out how to tally up the points. And I think that they also count playoff points. So it's not just regular season scoring, it's regular season and playoff scoring. So LeBron James has been to 10 finals. So think about how much more scoring he's been able to do in the postseason. No, he didn't actually win all of those finals, but he's gone far and he's scored. He was usually always the leading scorer on his team in the regular season and postseason. So those points are going to rack up. They just are, you know? You know, I'm not trying to go in on OKC. It's just Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He pushes off, okay? He pushes off to get to his mid-range shot, and that's an offensive foul. And that's the best part of his game. So I have issue with SGA. Can he play and can he be effective without that push-off, without offensive fouling that the league allows and decides to actually market? You're absolutely right. American Freedman, the NBA does need to market their young stars. I'm with you on that 100%. I do want to also take a moment to read some super chats before we move to the next topic. So, salute to you, Spursian. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Grace under pressure. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Those sound issues were like crazy as hell. Eden Jr., the right question would be, what did those 50,000 points yield in terms of team success? They yielded 4 titles, you know, on 4 different teams. So, you know, LeBron James, he's accomplished something out of those 50,000 points scoring. It's just what was the impact, I think, is really, I want to thank you for this comment, because when you have all these stats, everybody wants to know, did it tie back to winning? What do you have to show for these stats? What do you have to show for these points? I mean, he got the all-time scoring title. He took it from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar against the Oklahoma City Thunder in a loss. OKC beat LeBron James at home in front of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. How embarrassing is that? But yet, it wasn't for LeBron. He was just proud as punch to accept this scoring title after getting, you know, beaten. They lost the game. He got the scoring title and then sat on the bench. That's what fans had to look at. LeBron James is extremely performative. And when you're a performative player, I think people don't respect it as much. Good morning, Funky Town. So nice to see you. Salute to you, Afro Universe. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being here and thanks for watching. Thank you for the $2 super chat, Batanana. LeBron was gifted, not talented. You know, and I think that that's a really important thing to distinguish between. And the reason why I say that is because so many people don't appreciate their gifts. So many people don't appreciate the gifts that they've been given, or they use them in the wrong way. So, but I think that LeBron is both gifted and talented. I think he's gifted in the sport of basketball. This was a natural born gift of his. And I think that he's talented in gaslighting and media spin. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. So anyway, guys, now that we've read through some super chats, we've gotten through, you know, quite a bit of content. I see. So Spurs, and I'm hanging on to watch WNBA. Okay. I'm going to talk about WNBA on Sunday. Yes, we're going to have a members only live that day, and we're going to talk about WNBA, some, you know, unrivaled league stuff. So please tune in for that on Sunday. But yeah, we're going to move on, guys. So we're going to move on to the next topic. I know that this stream is a little ghetto. I don't have my headphones. I don't have my Rodecaster on, but we're gonna roll to the Anthony Edwards topic, and I'm really excited to talk about this topic because it's just been sort of circulating. Anthony Edwards doesn't want to be the face of the league, and you know, and Anthony Edwards, he's been saying a lot, right, over the last 12 months or so, but he doesn't want to be the face of the league. I think he even said that Wembanyama is the face of the league, not him. And a lot of people have had opinions about it. LeBron James has had an opinion about it. He's spoken out after one of his games. I do have some sound bites for you. I'm going to play the first one for you. It's a soundbite of Stephen A. Smith reacting to what LeBron is saying. So you're going to hear what LeBron says, and then you're going to hear Stephen A. react. And I'm also going to share with you guys what Gilbert Arenas had to say as well. He was a guest star on First Take, and I thought that this was a unique opportunity for me to get some of the most cappingest media folks in media in one place and just react to what they're both saying at the same time. So I'm going to place you guys on mute for a moment just while I get this soundbite together, and I'm going to play it through my phone. If you guys can hear it, just give me a 1 in the chat, okay? But just bear with me. Give me like less than 1 minute.
As well.
Okay, guys, I'm just going to pause it real quick because I really just want to talk about what Stephen A. had to say. I think that I agree with some of Stephen S. Smith's points. I just do. LeBron James has done everything on the face of the earth to get criticized for. You don't do the dunk contest. What do you think that's going to do over 22 plus years in the league? You never do a slam dunk contest at All-Star. People are going to talk about that. Who's going to celebrate that? Nobody's going to celebrate what's been going on at All-Star. That is a weekend to celebrate, but we can't celebrate it because the players have decided that they don't give a shit about it. So when it's time to celebrate the league, and I mean, think about all year long, there's 82 games, to play and to get through. Why can't we celebrate it? Because players don't take it seriously. So if they don't want to show up to play, then we don't want to celebrate. If when they show up to play, they play like shit on purpose and they're playing around with like a 3-point contest on purpose so that they can preserve themselves and load manage on the court, when they decide not to play defense so they can literally load manage on the NBA floor, they have no respect for the league. They have no respect for the sport and their job. They have no respect for the game. And so when you remove the respect from the game, you're removing the celebration of the players. Because fans are not going to celebrate that. That's one. So fans will not celebrate that. But why would the NBA media celebrate it? Why would traditional media celebrate the NBA in its current state? They're not going to. But I want to continue to play this soundbite for you. Gilbert Arenas pretty much immediately responds to Stephen A. And he pretty much states, like, he's defending LeBron in his comments. He's defending why players don't want to be the face of the league. He is, he's putting on a cape for these guys. And let's hear it. before we listen to what his response was, I just want to respond to Gilbert Arenas myself, because I think that what he said is completely ridiculous. What he's saying is what I've been saying all year long, last year, this year, every day of my life, that essentially players cannot handle the pressure of eclipsing the greatness that came before them. They cannot handle it. They cannot even, not only can they not handle it, they do not want those standards. They want to change it. They want to change the standard of greatness to something lesser. They want to lower the bar. They want to lower the standard every single year, year over year. The bar lowers. Whether we're talking about ratings, whether we're talking about defense, whether we're talking about, scoring, offense, defense, whatever it is, the bar continues to lower season over season. And the bottom line is that players, they cannot reach the level of greatness that guys who played in the 90s with less resources, in the 80s with less resources, in the 70s with less resources, in the 60s. I mean, you have guys that they weren't making the kind of money that players are making today. Not even a fraction of it. And yet they worked harder. They showed up for every game. And they accomplished a lot in the sport. So Michael Jordan, when he was in the league, he wanted to, who was he chasing after? He was chasing Magic Johnson. And he had some things that he wanted to accomplish in his head, right? But he took the criticism that was given to him. The media, what did they say about Michael Jordan? Hey, he's just a scorer. You're not going to be able to score the ball and win titles. What he did was he proved them wrong. He didn't then go and try to not score and try to win titles. That's not what he did. So the media told LeBron, you have to get to 6 rings. And so according to Gilbert Arenas, that meant he had to jump ship and go join with, 2 other stars in his draft class. Huh? Like, make that make sense. How is that the solution? Why isn't the solution to stay with the Cavs and go to the finals as many times as you can go to, because that was the trajectory that he was on, and try to win? He was able to get Kyrie Irving. He was able to trade his whole team away. Why did the media telling LeBron, and let's just say that that's what happened. The media told LeBron, you have to get to 6 rings in order to be like Michael Jordan. Why is it the solution to go and team up with the Miami Heat? Why is it the solution to have the decision? The decision was obnoxious. We didn't need 75 minutes of that for LeBron James to raise money for the Boys and Girls Club. We didn't need that. He could have still raised that money, and we didn't need that TV special for 75 minutes. So again, I agree with many of Stephen A. Smith's points. I think that he gets very personal, and it gets personal for him when LeBron James and players in the NBA are blaming the media. That's an issue for him. He feels personally attacked. That's probably why he was confronted tonight by LeBron James at the Garden. They had a lively discussion, and when I find out the details of it, I'm going to chat more through it probably tomorrow. But it's just crazy to me that LeBron James has basically put a target on his own back. He opens the door for all of this criticism. It's kind of like, have you ever seen Law and Order when they're on trial and the attorneys are battling and they're arguing in their cases in front of the judge, and all of a sudden there's an objection, and the objection is like, maybe a wife can't answer a particular question about her husband's crimes or something like that. Let's just say that that's what the story is, right? But then the responses that the judge gives sometimes is that it's overruled because they opened the door for that information. So if you bring something up If you say it, then I can pick it up. That's my saying. And I love to say that because if someone puts information out there, if you're doing something to get criticized, then that's what's going to happen. You're going to be criticized. So if you said it, then I'm able to then pick it up. It's just like when you tell your business, if someone is telling you their relationship business or something personal about their family, if they tell it to you, then you should be allowed to pick it up. You should be allowed to have a comment on that. Now, when you're at work, when you're in the workplace, obviously you don't want to bring up people's personal business, but if they're chatting with you about it, then obviously you think that you can then comment on it. So again, if you say it, then I can pick it up. And that's, that's kind of my personal rule in saying. So I just think that they leave themselves exposed to criticism. These NBA players do all kinds of things that, to me, open the door for that. I mean, you see James Harden before big games at the strip club and then turns around and plays like shit. You're going to get criticized for that. If you didn't think you were going to get criticized, then you're delusional. And people need to wake up and grow up and be an adult. When you put yourself out there, when you put yourself in the line of fire to be criticized, that's exactly what's going to happen to you. And is it always right the way that people criticize in the media is, are there online bullies? Of course there are. But when you put yourself in that line of fire, when you know that you're going to be criticized for every single thing you do and you continue to have these kinds of clown actions, then that's what's going to happen. And nobody can really feel bad for you. I thought that it was hilarious, that LeBron James was saying that, nobody wants to be the face of the league. It was almost like he was putting every NBA player down and pumping himself up. Like, hey, I chose to be the face of the league. I don't know if you guys watched the Starting Five documentary, but he just blatantly said it that, at 18, he was given the keys to the NBA and he ran with it. That he looked around at the league and he said, oh shit, I'm the face of the league. That's what he told himself at 18. That's what he said. So, once again, it's LeBron's narcissism, in my opinion, that, has him thinking, yeah, like, I'm still the face of the league at this big old age of 40, and nobody wants this responsibility. Nobody's as strong as I am. Nobody is as resilient as I am to take the kind of media pressure that I have been given for the last 22 years of my career. And I don't really believe that that's true. I just think that, like Anthony Edwards, for instance, I think that he, not only does he want to be the face of the league, he probably already is for the American side of the NBA here in the United States. I mean, Anthony Edwards is the guy. I mean, he's showing, and I think he's proving that he wants that title. Some things that hold him back, maybe some things happening in his personal life that, I think make him just a little bit more immature for, the face of the league role, so is he ready to be the face of the league? I think that he's ready. Is he doing an amazing job at that so far? No, I do not think he is doing that. And, he's constantly saying things like word vomit that don't really make any sense. He's got a signature deal with Adidas. He did the Starting Five documentary. He's talking like he's the face of the league, telling people that, if you're not injured, you should be on the floor. There's no reason to load manage. Play every game. I like playing defense. I want to defend. I want to score the ball. I want to also play defense. I want to drive and dunk the ball. I know he's, taking it easy this regular season, shooting a bunch of threes. He's trying to work on his jump shot. That's what he's trying to do. But yeah, to me, there really is no face of the league just quite yet. It's a collection of players. And Windhorse, so, Brian Windhorse, he gives his take on the situation, and I want you guys to hear that. Okay, guys. I mean, obviously they had a whole discussion. You have Gilbert Arenas on the record saying that nobody can touch Michael Jordan, and you're not going to. So it's just like all these players, they get upset. Gilbert Arenas just nailed it. And he thinks like he made this argument in favor of the players, and he doesn't realize and understand that he's made today's NBA players and this era look even worse. He's made them look softer than ever. They're admitting that they can't handle the pressure of the previous eras. They cannot unlock the greatness that they were able to achieve. They're saying that their eras were weaker. People are sitting there saying that, you know, Michael Jordan's era wasn't a good era. All these eras, they didn't have competition. Or they're saying that it was too physical back then. It wasn't real basketball. It was football. It was rugby. All these things that they like to say. And my whole thing is like, if the eras back then are so bad, then why don't you prove why today's era is so much better? Why aren't the fans saying that it's better? Why are the fans complaining about the style of basketball? Why do we have Matt McClung winning the dunk contest 3 years in a row? There should be no scenario where a player who is in the G League is beating out NBA superstars in the dunk contest. That's a big issue. The players in the NBA need to be the best collection of athleticism and skill on display. That's what we need to be seeing out of the NBA players. They should be the best athletes. We shouldn't be seeing guys come up from the G League stomping them out in the dunk contest. That's embarrassing and demoralizing. And what it says is they just don't have the love for the sport and the will to compete. You should be looking to compete in every single moment that you can. Anywhere that there's a basketball and there's players there and there's superstars in the mix, you should be looking for and hungry to compete and to prove yourself at every time. You should be looking to prove yourself every day that you are the best on the floor and on the court. That should never change, no matter who you are in basketball. Being a billionaire, being a superstar, these are just, it doesn't matter. You know, it was really interesting. I was in this this training for work, and there was a woman who, you know, she's in the training and she constantly kept bringing up her position and her title, and that wasn't what the meeting was about. No matter what role you were in, whether you were entry level or an executive level position, you know, we were all there to learn the same thing. And she repeatedly brought up her position. It was so cringeworthy. I mean, people were looking at her like, why does this matter? And it's because it doesn't matter sometimes. Sometimes your position and your title doesn't matter when everybody is in the room for the same goal. And so, you know, when we make these concessions for LeBron and other superstars in the league, they have nothing to prove. They've done everything. Really, they're on the floor. And if they're a superstar, they should be held to a greater standard at all times as far as their work ethic, as far as being out on the floor and willing to compete. This is what we need to look to the superstars for, to really steer and lead by example. And if you're not doing that, it's time to retire. If I'm somebody like LeBron James or Kevin Durant, you know, I'm ready to inspire or retire. And LeBron James, right now, what he's doing is inspirational. He's 40 years old. He just scored his 50,000th point. He's playing better than Luka Doncic at 25 years old, and he's 40. He's keeping his body in shape no matter how he does that. I'm not going to sit here and unpack the, you know, the Leped rumors. I'm not going to do that. He's keeping himself in shape. He's keeping himself healthy. He's healing quickly after games and injuries. Go LeBron. And it's just, we have to give him credit for that. Okay. We do. We have to give him credit for being, you know, 40 years old, lace front wig, still rocking in the NBA, right? This is what it is. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about all of this? Obviously, Stephen A. was really passionate. Gilbert Arenas, he played the situation very cool. He was very soft-spoken. He defended his points. He tried to make it make sense to people why NBA players today don't want to be the face of the league. And you know, what he said might very well be true, but all he has done is really further validate the opinions that I have had all season long, that players today, they just cannot live up to the standard of the great players of the past. Because they can't reach it, they then need to lower the standard and change it, because they can't reach the heights of success that Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, I mean, these guys, they just can't figure it out. And they're under so much stress and pressure, whether it's social media, whether it's, the criticism, whatever it is, they can't handle it. So, what do you guys think about this? Like, why are players deflecting to the media because they are not accomplishing what they set out to do in their careers? Why do you think that is? Why is the go-to right now, the narrative all season long, is to blame the media? You have coaches doing it, JJ Redick. You even have agents doing it. What was that guy, Rich Kleinman, Kevin Durant's agent, speaking out against the media, saying that it's a negative place. And you have LeBron, co-signing that, saying that he was leaving social media because he just can't handle it anymore. He needs a break. Now you have him out there saying it again. You have JJ Redick attacking Charles Barkley and the inside NBA TNT guys. You have Windhorse calling out the TNT guys again, Charles Barkley, Shaq. I mean, it is what it is. I don't understand why Charles Barkley isn't allowed to have his opinion about who he thinks is going to contend and who he doesn't. Why isn't he allowed to speak on who's a good coach, who's not? Why not? He's an NBA legend in the sport. He's on a show. That's his job. That's what he gets paid to do. If he doesn't like something, he should be able to say it. And just like the players in the NBA, everybody's got a role to play. So if he's the negative one and Shaq is in the middle road and just hating on the centers, they all have a character and a role to play. And, I remembered vividly that, when my aunties said something to me, if they had criticism for me, I took it. And really, feedback is a gift. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but when someone tells you how they think you can get better, yes, if they are not a person who is qualified to have the opinion, then sure. But like, if they're someone who is observing and watching and studying you, take the feedback. You don't have to necessarily action it, but take the feedback. It doesn't have to be so bad all the time. Like I said, feedback is a gift, and it's okay to receive it. You just need to make sure that you're in a place to receive it. And oftentimes these NBA players, they're so wound up. They're so anxious. They're in such a panic of how they're going to be perceived by NBA fans, by the media, by people on social media, personalities all over the place, and I think it just causes them to be in a place of blaming somebody. They need somebody to blame, and it's really easy to blame the media. That's the enemy, the media, the media, the media. Do they put out narratives about players? Of course. Look at what they did to Kyrie Irving. Look what they did to Allen Iverson. So many players have been victims of media narratives, whether they're lazy media narratives, true media narratives. So many people have been victims of that. So, yeah, what do you think? Why do you guys think the players are deflecting? Last time I checked, 90+% of the media has been glazing LeBron over the last decade. What did the t-shirt say that LeBron had on? I am the juice or something. Oh, no, it said, I am the pressure. And then he went ahead and left social media for several weeks because he was upset about how everybody was talking about Bronny. But yeah, that was a good one. Dealing with media negativity is part of the job description as an NBA player. They should man up and transcend it. I agree. Power through it because, look, we all get criticisms at our everyday job, right? And we've got to go in there and we've got to perform. Or if not, we're getting fired. But these things, the everyday normal inconveniences that you and I face, these things don't apply to the NBA players because they believe somehow that they are above everyday inconveniences. I used to be that way. When I was in New York City and I rode the train, I used to decide that, you know what? I was just going to knock down 4 people on my way to work because I was just above having to wait. I was just above having to, deal with the crowd. So you know what? I'm just going to bum rush the crowd, knock down 4 people on my way into work, and oh well, because I'm above this daily inconvenience that everyone else has to face. And you learn in life that you're not actually above it all. And there's things that will happen that sort of humble you. And I think that that's kind of exactly what's happening to LeBron James right now. He's 40 years old. He's balling with the Lakers. And then here you go, Luka Doncic, you're coming over to this team. And now you're the number one option. I'm balling. I'm the hero in a lot of these games. And you're getting all of the credit. You're being called the number one option. You're being called the future of this team. You're the person that the organization is acquiescing to and making decisions surrounding so that you'll re-sign with them. And yeah, I mean, sometimes things just come back around in a weird way and have a way of humbling you. So yeah, NBA players in general, they think that they are above the everyday inconveniences. They think that they are above going through the grind that Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, the greats of the past, the, Kareems, the Wilts, all of these people that put in so much effort into getting better year over year, into, really competing and earning their household name, earning the accolades and the praise that they were getting, whether it was from the media, whether it was from, fans. But I can say that Gilbert Arenas is wrong. Not everybody thinks that Michael Jordan is perfect. We look back on him that way. And that's how you're supposed to look at people once they retire from the sport. I promise you guys that when LeBron James retires, people are going to look back on his career more fondly than they did when he was playing. I don't think people remember how poorly Kobe Bryant was criticized while he was playing the sport. I mean, they would not let his personal problems go away. They would not let him forget about Colorado. They would not let him forget about his marital problems. There were so many things. They would not let him forget that he snitched on Shaq. They wouldn't let him move on from these things. They would not let him forget that, Shaq won a title before he did, after he left the Lakers. These are just things that it's all players, all of the superstars who currently play in the sport are going to be heavily criticized. They're going to be analyzed. You're going to talk about the good, bad, and the ugly. And that's what it is. Every single superstar faces that. I think Magic Johnson, when he was playing, people loved him. They loved his smile. They thought he was so positive. Even he was criticized. Larry Bird was criticized. Magic Johnson didn't win Rookie of the Year, but he won Finals MVP. And you take those criticisms and you find a way to channel it and you power through and you triumph. So great comment, Willing Exile, because you triumph. You should be triumphing over these criticisms. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was criticized. People criticized him. They said that he wasn't going to be better than Wilt Chamberlain. When Michael Jordan came into the league, he was Michael Jordan right away. Analysts, media, they said he was never going to win a title because all he could do was score the ball. That's it. He didn't decide to change his game. He didn't decide to go to a contender. He didn't decide to team up with guys in his draft class. He didn't decide to go to the Rockets and play with Hakeem Olajuwon. He didn't do that. He believed in himself. He believed that even though he was a scorer, that he could still win. And he did just that. He scored the ball and he won titles. He won championship titles. He won scoring titles. He won most valuable player 5 times in a row. He won most valuable player in the finals 6 times. He won multiple steals titles. I think he has 3 steals titles. He won Defensive Player of the Year. Goes on and on and on. So the problem with the face of the league is that players today, they want to cheat the system. They want all of these workarounds to get, they want a shortcut to the success that Michael Jordan has had. You can't do that. You can't shortcut athletic success. You just cannot do that. As much as LeBron has tried to do that, it did not change his status as the GOAT, because he's just not, and he never will be the GOAT. Not when you achieve your success in the way that he has. They criticized him. They said that he just couldn't win a title, that he didn't have what it takes, that he wasn't clutch, that he wasn't ready for the moment. And all of that was true. LeBron James wasn't ready for the moment when the media said it, but that wasn't negativity. It was just facts. He wasn't ready for the moment. In 2007, he was young. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready for the moment, so much so in 2009 and 2010 that he had to team up with Dwayne Wade, who was older. He was older. He was a mentor to him. He had to teach him how to win, how to find his voice and his confidence so that he could get out there and compete for titles. Salute to you, T-Bert. Thanks for the comment. Magic was called on the front page of the newspaper Tragic Johnson because of his 3 turnovers against the Celtics in the championship. Magic didn't complain. He came back and won the chip. Absolutely. I think that was 1984 when he was called Tragic Johnson. And I mean, that was awful for him. But it only counts. It's only hate and vitriol when LeBron's name is changed, when we call him LeBum or when we call him LeBrick. But when we turn Magic into Tragic, that's fine. Magic was just this beloved player that never got criticized, and, you know, nobody's faced any hate. Yet Magic Johnson and the Lakers were chased by Celtic fans, literally attacked on the effing court. I mean, you can't make these things up because these things are very well documented. It's on film and all kinds of things. I mean, you just don't. People are prisoners of the moment, and that is part of the problem with today's NBA and the fans who spectate the sport. They just don't want to respect 75 years of history in the sport. They only have love for the players that are playing today. They have an irrational love for people that they don't know. And, you know, fans today are refusing to take the totality of basketball and have some respect for the game as a whole. So, guys, I feel that we cooked on this topic a lot tonight. I'm going to read a couple more comments and see what you guys think, and then we'll head out. We'll end the stream. Yeah, Duncan, Kobe, and Steph won more than LeBron in his era. I mean, but again, we are supposed to be calling LeBron James the GOAT, which is ridiculous. So it looks like we got a couple more super chats in here, and I'm going to go ahead and read them. Thank you so much, Bata Nana. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Windhorse has never even drank from a water bottle. You guys are hilarious. You guys are so funny. Shout out to you, Cliff Hill. Overcoming is one of the best parts of the game. Absolutely. Because it shows you what you're made of. Imagine just showing that you're battle tested. The fans of today are victims of propaganda and revised history. Absolutely. And they keep trying to change history and rewrite it. I mean, even Gilbert Arenas, you just saw him do that on First Take. He sat up there and said that nobody criticized Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, or Larry Bird. And that's just not true. Like, you have to be living under a rock. I didn't grow up in the 80s. You know, I was being born. But, like, you know, even I know that every single superstar that ever played the sport was criticized. The idea that LeBron James is the only one that is facing any kind of criticism is very upsetting to me, because every single superstar that's ever played this sport has faced some level of criticism. And usually it's a large amount of criticism because they are the face of the league. So can you imagine if MJ went to the Pistons after losing to them? Absolutely not. But yet Kevin Durant did that, and he's calling himself a god. Kevin Durant, just shut up. Honestly, I don't want to hear from Kevin Durant ever again. I don't want to hear from LeBron. I am so sick of them. And I love Kevin Durant's play style, but he's just making me ill. His behavior, his misconduct on his team, I'm just not impressed with what he's doing. He's not a leader. He's not behaving as a leader, and he's behaving like a loser. And I'm over it. I'm over today's players, basically. And yeah. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys joining the stream and just, bearing with me through these technical difficulties that I've had. Do me a favor, please do me a solid and like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And yeah, salute to everybody in the chat. Shout out to all the members who are here. And thanks again, guys, for staying up late with me. I really appreciate it. Get some rest. And hopefully I'll have all these sound issues worked out. But if not, I'll just be on my computer speaker talking to you like this, because I don't want to be absent again from you guys too long while I figure this out. And yeah, I'm just really happy to be back creating content and, and hanging out with you guys. So like, share, subscribe. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day. Happy Friday. And I will see you later this evening. Alrighty. Bye-bye.